In this video, we're going to address a subscriber question. It says, can you please make a video on how to model schedules and link different systems that are independent on the main system? In addition, I would like to know if there is a possibility to create a triggering process in the schedule to show that if at this point in time we do not achieve the necessary output, we have a backup to integrate the system with the next standard. Thanks in advance. So we've created a dummy example here that we're going to show. There are lots of different topics or ways that I could answer this question. It's a very broad question that definitely requires a discussion in more detail. There's lots of different topics, including the product line engineering and variant modeling question, how you're going to address that, as well as modeling the behavior of the system of interest versus modeling the behavior of the assembly, how the assembly schedule works. Then we have the scheduler connection and the best way to do that and connections with other tools that are outside of Cameo. So these are three huge topics that we could create a host of videos for each of these different topics. So it's hard for me to just like answer this with a single solution. But in our example here, we've got a temperature sensor. We're trying to show temperature on a web dashboard at 1 hertz by day 14. So we've got the two different requirements, our data rate and our reliability that you see down here. We've got our temperature sensor, our gateway, and here's our different variation points, our API version 1 or our API version 2, and then our end dashboard. So the idea here is that we want to get the temperature sensor's data shown on the dashboard. So the data would be sent through the gateway through one of these APIs, either the primary standard or the next standard. Next standard is like the backup. And then eventually we would send it to the dashboard. So this is kind of what it would look like if you're looking at the everything view. So now I'm going to jump over to kind of the modeling the assembly schedule. So that's what we're seeing here, the assembly schedule. So we have different milestones that we've created, that we made up. So milestone 1 is day 5. We would assemble and calibrate the temperature sensor. Milestone 2, we would configure and connect the gateway. Milestone 3, integrate V1 endpoints. And here's where our decision point is that you requested. So like if there is a contingency, like the original one doesn't work, then you would go this route to the backup plan. Else you would go the happy path and just use that version 1. And then milestone 4, you'd be binding everything together and validating that it works correctly. So we've got detailed steps for each of these activities that I'll just kind of click into really quickly that just explains in more detail what those major activities are doing. So integrate V1 endpoints right here, and we're going to have our decision point. Did the V1 endpoints work successfully? So if the rate is less than 1 hertz, and if the loss is greater than 5, then we're going to go this path. So these would be attached to our requirements so that it could automatically go the right direction. And then we have our happy path, which is, everything with V1 worked as anticipated, and therefore we would just use that. So we have to note and understand that this behavior, that this activity diagram, is the behavior of how the system of interest will be assembled and not how the system of interest actually behaves. So these are two separate behaviors, and in most of our videos, you're going to see that I am modeling the second, the behavior of the system of interest, how the data from the temperature sensor gets sent through the gateway, through the API, through to the dashboard. What you're seeing right here is not that. It is different. It is modeling how we're going to put the thing together. So it's just something to understand, like, hey, we're not modeling the behavior of the system of interest. And that is not, we just have to understand that that's what we're doing and know that that is priority, that is important. Because my question is, do we really need to model this in Cameo? Or is some other tool a better place to model it? So that's a whole conversation. I don't want to go down each of the rabbit holes there, but here's a method for you to model how it would be assembled over time. Okay, going back to, so we kind of talked through number 2. I'll jump back to the product line engineering / variant modeling piece or aspect of this question. So right here we have the everything view, and essentially when we get done to a final variant or solution or configuration, we're not actually going to use both of these APIs. Or that's how I understand it. We're only going to use the one that works. So if version 1 works, then we're not going to use version 2 at all. So like its multiplicity would be 0 and therefore not used. And then we kind of get to this point where, hey, maybe, or it makes sense to remove the items that were not used because they will create clutter and confusion. So I've made these different system contexts. So variant 1 would be that the primary standard works. And so notice I've got the multiplicity of 0 to 1 for both the primary standard and the next standard. That's because we haven't made the decision yet. We don't know which one we're going to use. So later, after we're on day 10 or whatever the assembly schedule is going to tell us, yeah, day 10, where we have this decision point of are we going to go to the backup plan or not, that's when we're going to down select on, which block, which API we're going to use. And so you're either going to pick option 1, which looks like this, which is going to have a multiplicity of 1 for the version 1 API and a multiplicity of 0 for the version 2 API. So that's variant 1. Or you can look at, which is the primary standard, and then we can look at the other one. So the next standard is this guy, and it's the opposite, where you have 0, multiplicity of 0 for the primary standard and multiplicity of 1 for the next standard. So I would say once you've selected version 1 or version 2, or option 1 or option 2, you will likely want to take out the multiplicity of 0. So like if I go back to my primary standard, this is 0. So I made this version 2. So this is me taking out that multiplicity of 0 right here. So now you only have 4 part properties in your decomposition, while you had this next standard multiplicity of 0. See the difference? So this next standard is removed down in this decomposition. And that just makes your life simpler and more clear. And so like once you've selected a configuration, I would work from here as a starting point. So that's kind of how your model would morph over time. And then we've done the same thing for this next standard. So let's say that we selected the next standard. So multiplicity of 1 here, multiplicity of 0 here. We can then, excuse me, we can then remove the original standard right here, and this is what you would move forward with. So all this to say is there's kind of your model is going to morph over time, and you need to understand that. And there's a lot of complex ways to do this product line engineering, because essentially these cloud APIs are just like, you could say that that's a variation point. Your API is a variation point. And then you could make a generic, just like API block, and instead of having it like that, like part property, part property, part property, part property, part property, all you would have to do, you say this is a generic API, so I'd make this abstract, set that to true, makes it italics, and then you would say that these guys are types of API. And I would remove these part properties here. So now I'm saying that my system context with everything, it has temperature sensor, a gateway, an API, and a dashboard. And I can add my multiplicity here to make it more correct. So we're going to have one API, and we have two different alternatives. So when I would run this, or I can go to my IBD, my internal block diagram, display my part property of my API, and I can add my ports if I wanted to, and then start connecting things up. And I could genericize this port. So instead of uplink v1, uplink v2, I just have uplink. So there's many different ways to model this, is what I'm getting at here. And it does matter. So when I run this, I click run, you see that I have this API down here. And I can actually remove this and then double click, and it gives me the specific classifiers. So I could potentially like plug and play each of the different version 1 or version 2 APIs. So this is the version 1, this is the version 2. And if I were to have a version 3, and then I add it to the list, essentially it's a specific classifier, and I rerun it, and then I remove my value here, and then you see API version 3 is now part of my drop-down list that I can start selecting. So this video is probably giving you more questions than it has answers, so I apologize for that. But this is a complex topic, and there's lots of different ways to model all this. So you need to understand and determine what is important for you and your project in order to move forward. So reach out to us, and we'll be able to maybe steer you in the right direction. Hope this video helps. Thank you.